I stared at the pristine white tablecloth, counting the delicate blue flowers embroidered along its edge. Anything to avoid looking at my mother-in-law's face as she calmly suggested I kill my unborn daughter. The Bennett name requires a male heir, Alice. Surely you understand that. Judith's voice carried the same tone she used when discussing wine selections or flower arrangements. Modern medicine gives us options. It would be quick, discreet. The roast beef on my plate had turned to ash in my mouth. Mark's hand found mine under the table, but his grip felt weak, uncertain. I pulled away. "You can't be serious," I managed to say, though my throat had gone desert dry. "I've never been more serious." Judith dabbed her lips with her napkin, leaving a perfect coral smudge. "This family has maintained its traditions for 6 generations. We didn't survive 2 world wars and the Great Depression by being sentimental." I looked at Mark then, searching his face for any sign of the man I'd married 2 years ago. The one who'd spun me around our kitchen when we saw the positive pregnancy test, who'd whispered names into my ear late at night. His eyes wouldn't meet mine. "Mark!" My voice cracked on that single syllable. "Mother has a point about tradition," he mumbled, pushing his peas around his plate. "Maybe we should discuss this privately." The chandelier light caught the crystal wine glasses, throwing prisms across the walls. I watched them dance, remembering how I'd once thought this dining room beautiful rather than suffocating. How I'd believed joining the Bennett family meant security, stability, love. "There's nothing to discuss." I stood up, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor. "This conversation is over." "Sit down, Alice." Judith's voice had lost its polite veneer. "You married into this family knowing our values, our expectations. Don't act surprised now." "Values?" I laughed, and it sounded foreign to my ears. "You're talking about murdering my baby because she's not the right gender. That's not values. That's insanity." "Lower your voice," Mark hissed, glancing nervously at the kitchen door where Maria, their housekeeper, might hear. "Why? Afraid someone might realize what kind of family I've married into?" My hands were shaking as I grabbed my purse. "A family that would rather kill an innocent child than break with tradition?" Judith's face hardened. "You're being dramatic. This isn't about murder, it's about legacy, about duty, something you clearly don't understand." "You're right, I don't understand." I backed away from the table, suddenly desperate for air. "And I don't want to." As I turned to leave, Judith's words followed me like poison. "Think carefully about your next move, Alice. The Bennetts protect their own, but we also know how to deal with threats." I stopped at the doorway, my hand on the frame. "Is that a threat, Judith?" "A reminder. You signed a prenuptial agreement. Walk away now, and you leave with nothing." The laugh that burst from me then was ugly, raw. "Nothing? I already have nothing. Just a husband who won't defend his wife and child, and in-laws who think murder is a reasonable dinner conversation." I made it to my car before the tears came, before the magnitude of what had just happened hit me full force. My phone buzzed. Mark calling, probably to smooth things over, to explain away his mother's words as stress or concern or some other pretty lie. I ignored it, starting the engine instead. As I pulled away from the mansion I'd once dreamed of calling home, one thought crystallized in my mind. They wanted to take everything from me, starting with my daughter. Well, 2 could play that game. By the time I was done, the Bennett family would learn exactly what it meant to lose everything they held dear. 3 missed calls and 12 text messages lit up my phone as I paced our bedroom. Mark's footsteps on the stairs made my skin crawl. I'd been home for an hour, just long enough to pack an overnight bag and grab my important documents. "You're being irrational!" Mark burst through the door, his tie loosened, hair disheveled. Mother didn't mean it the way it sounded. I zipped the bag shut with enough force to break the zipper. "Really? How else should I interpret 'kill your baby'? She's from a different generation. The family name means everything to her." He reached for my arm, but I stepped back. "We can work this out. Just sleep on it." "Sleep on it?" The laugh that escaped me was bitter enough to burn. "Like you slept on telling me about your family's obsession with male heirs? Was that something you planned to mention before or after we got married?" His silence was answer enough. I shouldered my bag, but he blocked the doorway. "Move." "Alice, please. You're carrying my child too. Don't I get a say?" A say? My voice rose sharply. You had your say at dinner. You chose your side when you sat there letting your mother plan our daughter's death. That's not fair. You know how mother gets. Sometimes it's easier to… To what? Let her win? Sacrifice our child to keep the peace? I stepped closer, searching his face. Tell me, Mark. What else would you sacrifice to keep Mommy happy? He flinched. You don't understand the pressure. You're right. I don't understand pressure. I just understand that my husband is too weak to protect his own child. The words hit their mark. His face flushed red, then drained of color. Where are you going? Away from here. Away from you. Away from this sick family and its traditions. His hand shot out, gripping my wrist. You can't leave. Think about what you're throwing away. The lifestyle, the connections, the threats, the manipulation, the casual suggestion of infanticide over dinner. I twisted free. Let me pass. Or what? Something ugly flashed in his eyes. You signed a prenup, remember? Leave now and you get nothing. No alimony, no property, no… Is that what you think I care about? Money? I shoved past him, but his next words stopped me cold. Mother's right. You never did understand our world. Maybe this is for the best. Clearly, you're not Bennett material. I turned slowly. No, I'm not. And thank God for that. My phone buzzed again, Judith's name flashing on the screen. I declined the call, then opened my messages. The latest one made my blood freeze. Consider carefully, dear. The Bennett family has friends in every hospital within 50 miles. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. I took a screenshot, then another of the previous threats she'd sent. My marketing background hadn't been completely wasted as a trophy wife. I knew the value of documentation. Your mother's threatening me now. I held up the phone. Want to defend that too? Mark's face went blank. That practiced, polished mask I'd seen him wear at business meetings. She's trying to protect our family's interests. Our family? I pressed my free hand against my stomach. This is our family, Mark, right here. But you're too busy being Mommy's good little boy to see it. I made it halfway down the stairs before he called out, If you leave now, don't bother coming back. I paused, not turning around. Is that a threat or a promise? His silence spoke volumes. I reached the front door, then stopped. You know what the funny thing is? I actually thought you loved me. But you can't love anyone, can you? Not really. You're too busy trying to earn Mommy's approval. The door slammed behind me with satisfying force. In my car, I pulled out my phone again, scrolling through my contacts until I found the one person I could trust. The one person who'd never let me down. Henry, it's Alice. I need your help. My voice steadied as I spoke. And I need everything you know about investigative journalism. It's time the world learned what kind of people the Bennetts really are. Henry's apartment smelled like coffee and old books. A familiar comfort I hadn't realized I'd missed. Files and newspaper clippings covered his dining table. 2 years' worth of Bennett family history spread out like a roadmap of corruption. Look at this! He pointed to a yellowed article. 3 years ago, Mark's cousin Sarah suddenly moved abroad after getting pregnant. No one's heard from her since. My hands trembled as I picked up the clipping. She was carrying a girl too, wasn't she? According to hospital records, Henry's voice hardened, which mysteriously disappeared a week later. I pushed away from the table, bile rising in my throat. The morning sickness wasn't helping, but this was different. This was horror. Pure and simple. My phone buzzed, Tom Bennett's name flashing on the screen. I almost declined, but something made me answer. Alice, don't hang up. His voice was urgent, stripped of its usual casual drawl. Mother's calling an emergency family meeting. About you. Let me guess. They're planning my tragic accident? This isn't a joke. Papers rustled in the background. I'm in Father's study. There's something you need to see. Files about other women in the family. It's worse than we thought. Henry watched me intently as I gripped the phone tighter. What kind of files? Medical records, legal documents, payoffs. Tom's voice dropped to a whisper. Alice, Sarah wasn't the first. There were others. So many others. A sharp knock echoed through the phone, followed by Judith's muffled voice. Thomas? Are you in there? I have to go. Tom's words tumbled out. Meet me at the Blue Door. Tonight, 8 o'clock. Come alone. The line went dead. Henry touched my shoulder. You're not actually considering going? Of course I am. It's obviously a trap. He gestured at the evidence spread before us. They're desperate. They know you're a threat. Or Tom's finally grown a conscience. I grabbed my coat. Either way, I need to know. Then I'm coming with you. No. I touched his arm. If it is a trap, I need you safe. You're the only one who knows the truth, who can expose them if... My hand drifted to my stomach. If they make you disappear like Sarah? His jaw clenched. All the more reason not to go. I have to know, Henry. For her. I pressed my other hand against my belly. For all of them. The Blue Door was a dive bar on the edge of town. The kind of place the Bennetts would never be caught dead in. Perfect for secrets. Perfect for traps. Tom sat in a corner booth, hands wrapped around an untouched whiskey. When he saw me, his face crumpled. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I didn't know. All these years I never knew." He slid a USB drive across the table. "Everything's here. Bank transfers, medical records, correspondence. Mother's been systematic about it. Any time a first pregnancy wasn't male, there were complications." My fingers closed around the drive. "Why are you helping me?" "Because I remember Sarah. Because I have a girlfriend Mother doesn't know about, and she's pregnant." His hands shook. "Because someone needs to stop them." The door chimed. Mark walked in, followed by two men I didn't recognize. Tom's face went ash white. "I'm sorry," he breathed. "They followed me. I didn't know..." I was already moving, but Mark's voice froze me in place. "Sit down, Alice." He sounded tired, resigned. "Mother was right. You've become a problem that needs solving." The men flanked the exits. Tom wouldn't meet my eyes. I clutched the USB drive, mind racing. There was a back door through the kitchen. I'd spotted it coming in. If I could just... "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." Mark stepped closer. "Think of it as a kindness. You clearly can't handle the responsibilities of being a Bennett." I laughed then, sharp and bitter. "No, Mark. I just can't handle being a murderer." The next few seconds would determine everything. My fate, my daughter's fate, the fate of every future woman unfortunate enough to marry into this family of monsters. I took a deep breath, remembering Henry's words. Sometimes the best revenge is survival. Time to survive. The kitchen's back door slammed behind me as I burst into the alley, my heels skidding on wet pavement. Mark's shouts echoed from inside, followed by the crash of overturned chairs. The USB drive burned in my pocket like a live coal. A black SUV idled at the alley's entrance. Behind me, the door banged open again. I ran the opposite direction, ducking between dumpsters, my pregnant body protesting every jarring step. Another SUV appeared at the far end, headlights blazing. My phone buzzed. Henry's message flashed. "Got your location, 2 minutes away. Hold on." A hand grabbed my arm. I spun, ready to fight, but it was Tom. "Fire escape," he hissed, pointing up. "Third floor's empty. I'll stall them." I didn't waste time questioning his loyalty. The metal rattled under my feet as I climbed, Mark's voice carrying from below. "Find her! Mother wants this handled tonight!" Through a grimy window, I made out an abandoned office space. The lock was old, weak. One sharp blow with my elbow and I was inside, glass tinkling behind me. My phone lit up again. Henry calling. I answered in a whisper. "Where are you?" "Northeast corner, blue Honda. They've got the building surrounded, Alice. What's on that drive that's worth killing for?" "Everything." I peered down at the alley. 4 men now, plus Mark, spreading out like hunters. Their whole sick history. Tom said... "Tom!" Henry's voice sharpened. "Alice, he's working with them. I just saw him get into Judith's car." The betrayal shouldn't have hurt. I barely knew Tom, but it did. Another Bennett choosing family over conscience. Footsteps on the fire escape. I moved deeper into the shadows, past empty desks and forgotten filing cabinets. A door at the far end probably led to a hallway, maybe stairs. If I could just... "It's over, Alice." Mark stood in the broken window, silhouetted against streetlights. He looked different, dangerous in a way I'd never seen before. Was any of it real? My voice stayed steady despite my racing heart. Us? Our marriage? Or was I just a breeding mare for the Bennett bloodline? "I loved you." He stepped inside. "Still do, but family is everything. You'll understand that soon, when you're a mother. If you let me live that long." "That's up to you." Another step closer. "Give me the drive. Come home." We'll say you were emotional, confused. Mother will forgive you, eventually. Like she forgave Sarah? He flinched. Sarah made her choice. Did she? Or did your mother's friends make it for her? Sirens wailed in the distance. Mark's face hardened. Last chance, Alice. The drive or what? I backed toward the door. You'll add me to the Bennett family's list of tragic accidents? How many are there, Mark? How many women did your mother murder for having the wrong kind of baby? Shut up! He lunged forward. I threw the nearest object, a dusty desk lamp, and ran. The hallway stretched endless and dark, my footsteps echoing. Behind me, Mark's pursuit was silent, methodical. He knew he had me trapped. My phone vibrated. Henry again. Police are 2 minutes out. Keep moving. The stairwell door appeared ahead. I grabbed the handle. Locked. It's done, Alice! Mark's voice came from the darkness. No more running. I turned, pressing my back against the door. You're right. No more running. His outline emerged from the shadows, one hand extended. The drive. Now. You want it? I pulled it from my pocket. Come get it. He approached slowly, cautiously, like I was a cornered animal. In a way I was. But cornered animals are the most dangerous. I trusted you, I whispered. I loved you. I know. His fingers closed around the drive. I'm sorry it has to end this way. So am I. The taser from my other pocket connected with his ribs before he could react. Henry had insisted I take it. Just in case. As Mark convulsed and collapsed, I heard doors bursting open below, voices shouting, footsteps thundering upstairs. I looked down at my husband's unconscious form and felt nothing but cold determination. The real drive was safe with Henry. This one contained something else. Something that would ensure the Bennett family's destruction, one way or another. The truth has a way of surviving, even in the dark. The police interview room felt smaller with each passing hour. Detective Rivera set another coffee in front of me, her face carefully neutral. Mrs. Bennett, we found 3 bodies in the Bennett family crypt. All female, all pregnant when they died. She slid photographs across the table. Your husband's been released on bail. His mother's lawyers are already spinning this as ancient family history. My fingers traced the edge of one photo, a gold bracelet on a skeletal wrist. Sarah wore one just like this. We know. Rivera leaned forward. But without more evidence linking current family members to these deaths, this stays a cold case. The door opened. Henry burst in, ignoring the detective's protest. They're moving against you. Now. What? Mark just filed for emergency custody of your unborn child, claiming you're mentally unstable. They've got 3 psychiatrists ready to testify. He dropped a legal document on the table. Judith's judge friends are expediting it. You've got 24 hours. The room tilted. I pressed my hand against my stomach, feeling my daughter kick. They can't. They can. Rivera's voice hardened. And they will unless I give them something bigger. I met Henry's eyes. The drive? Ready to go? But Alice, this isn't just about exposing old crimes anymore. The moment this goes public, they'll destroy you. They're already trying to destroy me. I stood, steadier than I felt. Time to return the favor. My phone buzzed. Tom's number. After his betrayal at the bar, I almost ignored it. But something made me answer. Don't trust the police. His voice was barely a whisper. Mother's got people everywhere. But I found something. Father's real will. The one Mother suppressed. It changes everything. Why should I believe you? Because I just found out my girlfriend lost our baby. Mother's friends at the hospital. His voice broke. Meet me at St. Michael's. 1 hour. I looked at Henry, who shook his head. It's another trap. Maybe, I gathered my coat. Or maybe it's exactly what we need. St. Michael's loomed against the darkening sky, its Gothic spires perfect for a family of monsters. Tom waited by the side entrance, looking haunted. Inside, he held the door. The will's hidden in Father's old office. It proves Mother killed him when he threatened to expose her. We climbed dusty stairs to the church offices. Tom's hands shook as he unlocked a door. It's in here somewhere. I saw Mother hide. The door slammed behind us. Judith stepped from the shadows, Mark beside her. Oh, Thomas, she sighed. Still so easily manipulated. Just like your father. Tom's face crumpled. I'm sorry, Alice. They have Rachel. My girlfriend. They said, enough. Judith's voice could have frozen hell. Alice, dear, you've become quite troublesome. But we're willing to be merciful. Sign these papers. She produced a document. Full custody to Mark, a generous settlement and a non-disclosure agreement. Walk away, live a comfortable life. And my daughter? Will be raised properly, as a Bennett should be. You mean if she survives birth? The words tasted like acid. How many girls have you murdered, Judith? How many families have you destroyed? I've preserved this family's legacy. Her eyes glittered. Something you never understood. You're right. I backed toward the window, phone recording in my pocket. I never understood how anyone could kill innocent children for power. But now I do. You're not preserving anything. You're just a murderer hiding behind tradition. Mark stepped forward. Alice, please, don't make this harder. Then what? Killing me? Like you killed Sarah? Like you killed all the others? We did what was necessary. Judith's mask cracked, revealing the monster beneath. And we'll do what's necessary now. Perfect. Her confession recorded. I pressed send on the phone, delivering everything to Henry and Detective Rivera. Now I just had to survive the next few minutes. You know what's funny? I smiled, feeling strangely calm. You were so focused on preserving the Bennett name, you never noticed what I was really doing. Judith's eyes narrowed. What? Destroying it, completely. And you just helped me finish the job. Sirens wailed in the distance. Judith's face contorted with rage as she realized what I'd done. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just surviving. It's making sure your enemies destroy themselves. The Bennett family's annual charity gala buzzed with wealth and whispers. From my corner of the ballroom, I watched Judith work the crowd, her perfectly coiffed hair catching the chandelier light. Mark stood beside her, playing the dutiful son, while photographers captured their generous donations to children's hospitals. The irony made me sick. You shouldn't be here. Henry appeared at my elbow, tension radiating from him. The restraining order doesn't start until midnight. I adjusted my dress over my 7-month belly. Plenty of time to deliver their surprise. Alice, his hand touched my arm. They've already frozen your accounts, hired lawyers to paint you as unstable. If you do this, they'll what? Destroy me? Kill me? I watched Judith laugh at someone's joke. They're already trying. At least this way, I take them down with me. The USB drive felt heavy in my clutch. 1 copy to the press, 1 to the police, 1 to every major shareholder in the Bennett empire. All set to send at exactly 9 p.m. when Judith would take the stage for her annual speech about family values. Tom approached, Rachel clinging to his arm like a shield. Mother's looking for you. Good. I stepped forward, but Henry caught my wrist. Wait. His voice dropped. Something's wrong. Security's moving. I scanned the room. He was right. Men in dark suits were positioning themselves near the exits. Did you really think we wouldn't be watching? Mark's voice came from behind me. Checking every guest list? Monitoring every invitation? I turned. His face held something almost like regret. The drives are already uploaded, I said. Set to auto-send. No, they're not! He pulled out his phone, showing an email from my account. Amazing what a court order can do. Your devices, your cloud storage, all accessed and cleared. Mother's very thorough. The room spun slightly. That's impossible. Is it? Judith glided over, her smile razor sharp. Did you think you were the first to try exposing us? That others haven't attempted exactly what you planned? The evidence has been contained? She gestured subtly. Security moved closer. Just like you will be. The private psychiatric facility is quite comfortable, I'm told. Perfect for a troubled mother-to-be. My hand pressed against my stomach. The baby kicked as if sensing my fear. You can't just make me disappear. Of course we can. Judith's voice dripped false concern. A tragic case of postpartum psychosis. These things happen, especially to women under stress. Mark will have full custody naturally. For the child's safety. Henry stepped forward. I won't let... Mr. Mitchell. Judith cut him off. Your newspaper has been informed of your inappropriate relationship with a married, mentally unstable woman. I suggest you leave while you still have a career. The trap had sprung perfectly. Every angle covered, every escape route blocked. I thought I was so clever, but they'd been 10 steps ahead. Why not just kill me? My voice sounded distant to my own ears. Like the others? Because this is better. Mark touched my cheek, an obscene parody of tenderness. You'll live, knowing our daughter is being raised properly, as a Bennett should be. Knowing you failed to protect her. The room blurred. My knees weakened, but I refused to fall. Not here. Not in front of them. Security will escort you out quietly, Judith said. Unless you prefer a scene? Though that would only reinforce the unfortunate narrative about your mental state. I looked around the glittering ballroom, at the wealthy guests who'd turn away, pretending not to see. At Tom, who couldn't meet my eyes. At Henry, desperate but powerless. Everything I'd planned, every piece of evidence I'd gathered, every ally I'd thought I had, all stripped away in minutes. They'd won. They'd always been winning, and I'd just been playing their game by their rules. But as security approached, something crystallized in my mind. A terrible, desperate clarity. They'd taken everything from me. My marriage, my future, my freedom, and soon, my child. I had nothing left to lose. And people with nothing left to lose make the most dangerous enemies of all. I smiled at Judith, watching uncertainty flicker across her perfect face. The game wasn't over. It was just changing rules. The security guards never saw the flash drive I'd slipped to Rachel during our staged confrontation. While they escorted me toward the exit, she disappeared into the crowd, carrying the real evidence, not the decoy Judith had found. I counted steps. 3, 2, 1. The ballroom's lights cut out. In the sudden darkness, screams erupted, followed by the massive screens behind the stage flickering to life. Sarah's face appeared, young and beautiful, in her last known photograph. "What is this?" Judith's voice cut through the chaos. "Get those screens off!" But more faces appeared. Janet Bennett, 1982. Elizabeth Bennett, 1995. Each with their death dates, their medical records, their accidents detailed in clinical precision. "Security!" Mark's shout echoed. "Get her out!" I wouldn't. Tom's voice rang clear. He stood by the main doors, Rachel beside him, her phone live-streaming everything. "The footage is already going viral. Every news outlet in the country just received copies." The lights flickered back on. Judith stood frozen, her perfect mask cracking as she watched her carefully constructed world implode. "You." She turned to me, fury distorting her features. "You orchestrated this." "No, Judith." I stepped forward, shrugging off the guards. "You did. Every murder, every cover-up, every threat. I just exposed it." The crowd pressed back, creating a circle around us. Phones recorded everything. The Bennett family's darkest secrets laid bare for all to see. "These are lies." Mark pushed through the crowd. "Fabrications from a disturbed..." "Tell that to Sarah's parents." Tom's voice cracked. "Tell that to Rachel, whose miscarriage was no accident. Tell that to every woman whose life you destroyed." "Thomas..." Judith's voice turned silk smooth. "Think about what you're doing to this family." "Family?" He laughed bitterly. "You killed my daughter too, Mother. Did you think I wouldn't figure it out? Rachel's complications happened right after I told you she was pregnant." The crowd gasped. Mark's face went ash white. "Mother?" His whisper carried in the silent room. "Is it true? Everything I did was to protect this family." Judith's chin lifted. "To preserve our legacy. You're all too weak to understand." "Weak." I stepped closer. "You murdered innocent women and children because you couldn't bear the thought of losing control. That's not strength, Judith. That's cowardice." She moved faster than I expected. The gun appeared in her hand, aimed at my stomach. "I won't let you destroy everything I've built." The crowd scattered. Security reached for weapons, but froze at her wild-eyed stare. "Mother, don't!" Mark's voice shook. "Please!" "Still trying to play both sides, Mark?" I kept my eyes on Judith. "Still can't choose between your wife and your mother?" "Shut up!" Judith's hand trembled. "You never understood. The Bennett name means something. We protect our own..." "By killing them?" Tom moved closer. "By murdering our children?" "They were weak. Imperfect. I made the hard choices to keep this family strong." "No." Mark's voice changed, hardened. "You made the choices that kept you in power." He stepped between me and the gun. "What are you doing?" Judith whispered. "Choosing." He didn't look back at me. finally choosing. You would betray your own mother? For her? No. His voice stayed steady. For my daughter. For every child you murdered in the name of family. The gun wavered. In that moment of hesitation, security rushed forward. The weapon clattered to the floor as Judith screamed, not in fear or anger, but in the primal rage of someone watching their kingdom crumble. Detective Rivera emerged from the crowd, badge displayed. Judith Bennett, you're under arrest! As they led her away, her perfectly coiffed hair now disheveled, her makeup streaked with tears, she looked smaller, ordinary. Just another monster finally exposed to the light. Mark turned to me, his face haunted. Alice, don't. I stepped back. You don't get forgiveness. Not yet. Maybe not ever. He nodded, understanding at last. The Bennett legacy was ending. Not with a bang, but with the quiet click of handcuffs and the whir of cameras, documenting every moment of their fall. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just surviving, it's making sure the truth survives with you. The courthouse steps felt colder than they should in September. I watched Judith being led away in handcuffs, her designer suit replaced by prison orange, her perfect posture finally broken. The jury had taken less than 2 hours to reach their verdict. Guilty, on all counts. Mrs. Bennett, a young woman approached, clutching a photo. I'm Sarah's sister. My throat tightened. I have her bracelet. The police released it after. Keep it, she touched my arm. For your daughter, so she'll know what you fought for. As she walked away, I felt my baby kick. 7 months along now, and every movement reminded me why I'd torn down an empire. Mark waited by his car, watching me. He'd testified against his mother, helping secure the conviction, but some betrayals can't be undone. Some choices mark us forever. Alice, he stepped forward. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. You're right. You don't. I met his eyes. But she deserves a father who's trying to be better. Understanding flickered across his face. You mean supervised visits after she's born? If you continue therapy and prove you've changed. He nodded, relief and regret warring in his expression. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I turned away. You have a lifetime of choices ahead to prove you're not your mother's son. Tom and Rachel waited nearby, hands clasped. Their loss had sparked their testimony, helping bring down the family that had stolen their child. They'd moved to Seattle last week, starting fresh. Ready? Henry appeared beside me, carrying my briefcase. He'd never left, never wavered, even when the Bennett lawyers tried destroying his career. Almost. I walked to the courthouse garden, where a small memorial now stood. Names etched in stone. All the women and children the Bennett family had sacrificed for their legacy. Sarah, Janet, Elizabeth, Tom and Rachel's unnamed daughter. I placed my hand on the cool marble, feeling the engraved letters beneath my fingers. You won. Henry's voice was soft. They can't hurt anyone else. No. I straightened up. But that's not why I did it. Why then? I touched my stomach, feeling my daughter's response. Because someone had to show them that legacy isn't about names or traditions or power. It's about the choices we make, the people we protect. He stepped closer, his hand hovering near mine. And what choices will you make now? The question hung between us, heavy with unspoken possibilities. I'd seen the way he looked at me, the love he'd kept hidden all these years. Patient, unwavering, asking nothing in return. I don't know yet. I met his gaze. But I know I want to make them freely. No more chains, no more traditions controlling my future. Sounds lonely. No. I took his hand, feeling its warmth. Not lonely, just undefined, unwritten. The setting sun painted the courthouse gold. Like nature herself was turning the page. The Bennett legacy was ended, their empire dismantled, their secrets exposed. I realized revenge hadn't been the answer I thought it was. The answer was in breaking free, in choosing your own path, your own family, your own definition of legacy. Come on, I squeezed his hand. Let's go home. Your place or mine? His smile held no pressure, no expectations. Neither? I looked toward the horizon. Let's find somewhere new, somewhere we can write our own story. My daughter kicked again, stronger this time. She'd never know the weight of the Bennett name, the poison of their traditions. She'd be free to choose her own path, make her own mistakes, create her own legacy. And maybe that was the greatest revenge of all. Not in destroying the old, but in building something new. Something better, something free.